Hey kiddos, this is Mr. Nelson here. This is video 10-2. We're going to be talking about angles and a triangle and a quadrilateral. Okay, so we got two pictures here just to review. The quadrilateral, that quad means four, so it's four sides, and the tri for triangle means three. And in our discovery lab earlier today, we discovered that if you take the angle for A and B and C and D for any quadrilateral, it doesn't matter. If you take all four angles and you add them together, the total angle should always equal 360 degrees. Okay? And just one way to prove that, if you take a circle and you split the circle like this, okay, and you count up, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles. All four of those right angles are 90 degrees, so 4 times 90 equals 360 degrees. So a circle is 360 degrees. All four corners of a quadrilateral, no matter the quadrilateral, whether it's a trapezoid or a rhombus or a square or a rectangle, they're all going to add up to 360 degrees. Alright, that's going to be important, so write that down. The triangle, if you add up all the degrees of the triangle, 1, 2, and 3, so angle A, angle B, and angle C, that will always equal 180 degrees, no matter the type of triangle. Okay. So, let's look at triangles first. There's a couple of special rules that go along with triangles. So let's start with the isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle, the isosceles means it's got two of the same sides. So when you see little marks like this and like this, that means that those two sides are the same. So if these two sides are the same, that means that these two angles are going to be the same. So that means angle C is going to equal angle B. That is one of the rules of triangles. And so if I were to give you angle A, you could take, okay, let's say angle A, angle A equals 40. Okay, I don't know if it does or not, but let's say it does, equals 40 degrees. What you would do is you would say, okay, if the whole triangle is 180 and I take away 40, then what's left is going to be 140 degrees. Okay, those are all degrees. Okay, and I know that angle C and angle B are the only two angles left, and they added up have to be 140, so that means that they all have to be equal to 70 degrees because it's half of 140. So if I just divide that 2, that's how I got that. Okay, so isosceles triangles, two of the same sides, two of the same angles, angle C and angle B. Alright, now scalene, none of the angles are going to be the same because all the sides are different. So angle A does not equal angle B, which does not equal angle C. Alright, equilateral triangle, all three sides are the same, so you guessed it, all three angles, angle B, angle C, and angle A are going to equal each other. So angle A equals angle B, which equals angle C. So if we have a triangle, it's 180 degrees total, and we just divide it equally among three different angles. 3 goes into 1 no times, but it goes into 18 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Bring down the 0. 3 goes into 0 0 times. That means each angle is 60 degrees. No matter what equilateral triangle, they are always equal 60 degrees. Alright, and last we have a right triangle, and all that we need to know is if you see this sign right here, that tells us that this is 90 degrees. So we can use that as clues. So if I went in here and told you that angle, let's fix that, angle A equals, I don't know, let's say 60 degrees, then I know this is 90, this is 60 degrees. That means this would have to be whatever's left over out of 180. So I add up 90 and 60. That gives me 150. So I have 180 degrees. Take away 150 degrees. And that means angle B is everything that's left over, which is 30 degrees. So angle B has to equal 30 degrees there. Okay, because if I add up all the angles, it's got to be 180. Every triangle has got to be 180. So we have to use that rule of the 180 to solve for these triangles. Okay, and we see that 180 rule right here. We see the 180 rule right here. And we see that 180 once again show up right here. Okay. Let's look at these shapes right here. These are quadrilaterals. These are different examples of quadrilaterals. Okay, and these shapes right here, you should be familiar with all of these quadrilaterals, but in case you aren't, let me perform a little bit of magic here. Bippity, boppity, boo! Alright, this top shape up here is called a trapezium, because none of the sides are parallel at all, and the only thing that we know about this for sure is that all the angles added up have to still be 360 degrees. Now for the trapezoid, two sides are parallel, so we show parallel by showing these little arrows. Those two sides are parallel. The other two sides are not. Now if the non-parallel sides, so this side and this side, are the same, okay, that means that angle, let's see, let's pick a color. Okay, that means this angle, angle A and B are going to be equal to each other, and angle C and D are going to be equal to each other. Okay, so off to the side here, just make a little note that if the trapezoid is an isosceles trapezoid, that means the two sides are the same, the non-parallel sides, that angle A will equal angle B, okay, and angle C will equal angle D. Alright, on a parallelogram, that means the opposite sides are the same length and they're parallel, and so this and this are the same length, and this and this are the same length, and this is parallel with this. Put 2 on there. So these two are parallel, and this is parallel. Okay, what we're going to find out is if I number these and I say, okay, this is angle A, B, C, and D, the opposite angles are going to be identical. So that means angle A and C are going to equal each other. So angle A will equal angle C, and angle D will equal the opposite angle, angle B. So angle, that's not how we show angle. Our little slip there. Angle D will equal angle B. Okay, and still the rule applies, 360 degrees total. Same with this one, 360 degrees total and 360 degrees total. All quadrilaterals are 360 degrees total. Alright, the rhombus. Rhombus is just a type of parallelogram, and what defines a rhombus is that all the sides here are equal and the opposite sides are going to be parallel. So this side and this side are parallel, and this side and this side are going to be parallel. Okay. Once again, the opposite angles are going to be equal. So if I number these angles, A, B, C, and D, the same rules apply as a parallelogram. Same. Okay. The rectangle. Rectangle is defined because these sides, opposite sides, are the same length and every angle is 90. Okay, so all angles equal 90 degrees. And just like all the previous ones, 4 times 90 degrees, because there's 4 angles, multiply them all by 90, that's going to equal 360 degrees. Alright, and then the square is the same. Same. Alright, let's take a look at a couple problems. Okay, and we have to use what we know. So this is a quadrilateral. So we know that if I take all angles added up, so the sum, that's not how you spell sum, equals 360 degrees. Okay? Alright, we also know that this symbol right here means 90 degrees, and this symbol right here means 90 degrees. So if I just add up these 3 angles and I take it away from 360, I'll be able to find F. Okay, so let's check it out. 90 plus 90 is 180. So let's do 115 plus 180. Alright. Now I take 360, which I know all the angles need to equal 360. I'll take 360 degrees. Make sure you add your degrees on there. My bad. And I take away all 3 of these angles. I'm left with the final angle. Max borrowing 2, this will be 15, this will be 10, 5, 6, 1. Okay, so that's 165. So 165 degrees, that means F equals, angle F equals 165 degrees. Okay, so what did I use to solve? Well, I used this rule right here. And then I just took away the angles that were given. Took away 90, took away 90, took away 115, and I'm left with F. Okay. Alright, this shape right here, it's a triangle. It's a special triangle. What do these little red marks mean? They mean that the 2 sides are the same. That's an isosceles triangle. So that means that angle A and angle B are the same. So if I told you that angle C equals, I don't know, 80 degrees. Okay. Well, what information do I know? I know that all triangles, their angles added together is going to equal 180 degrees. So if I take away C, I'm left with A and B. So let's try that. Let's see what we get. So I start with all the angles, 180. I take away angle C. And these are in degrees. Okay, and that leaves me with 100 degrees. And I know that because this is an isosceles, I know that A and B are going to be equal to each other. These 2 sides are the same. These 2 angles right here are going to be the same. So if they're the same and I have 100, I can just split that in half. So do 100 degrees. And I divide it in half. Divide it by 2. Bring it down. And so that means 50 degrees. So angle A and angle B equal 50 degrees. Alright. Cool. Last problem. What is the measure of angle PSR? Okay, so I've got a quadrilateral, but I also have a triangle. I don't know if y'all notice a triangle. Triangle is P to T to S and to R. Okay, so we're going to use our clues that were given to solve for this whole thing. So what we're trying to really identify is angle PSR. So P to S to R. So we're going to know this angle. Okay. So first off, we know this angle right here. It's a right angle. It's right angle up here. These two sides are parallel. So if line T is parallel to this line, then it's got to be parallel to this line because it's a trapezoid. Okay, so that's 90 degrees. So the only thing left for us to find is this angle right here. Okay, so if we can find this angle right here, we can add it to the 90 degrees right here, and we'll know what our angle is. Okay, so we're dealing with a triangle here, and we know all triangles, the sum of their angles equals 180 degrees. Okay, I know that that angle is 90, and this angle right here is 60. So 90 plus 60 degrees equals 150 degrees. So if the whole triangle is 180, but these two are 150, what's left over? Well, it's a simple little subtraction problem. 180 degrees, take away 150 degrees, and I'm left over with 30 degrees. So that means this angle right here is 30 degrees. So the whole angle, P to S to R, is going to be this angle plus this angle. So it's going to be 90 degrees plus the 30 degrees, 120 degrees. All right, so angle PSR equals 120 degrees. Okay, that's our answer. But we can also double check, because if this side and this side are equal, and this is 60, that means this has to be 60, and that means this has to be 120 as well. 120 plus 120 is 240. 240 degrees, and 60 plus 60 equals 120 degrees. And since it's a quadrilateral, shouldn't all the angles add up to be 360 degrees? Yes, they should. So let's see. 0 degrees, 6 degrees, 360 degrees. Alright, all these angles check out. And all we're using is this rule right here and this rule right here. So a square is 360 degrees, a triangle is 180 degrees. So you have to use the clues that are given. If you can identify right angles and the other angles, and you can use these two little clues right here, you can solve any one of these problems. Now, had you known this information for the pretest, you would have done just fine. But I feel like with this information now, you're going to be just fine for tomorrow's activity. Thanks and have a good night.